Welcome back on this Wednesday morning. Let's quickly go over that forecast because it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Much as what you saw yesterday, it's going to be even better today. Full sunshine, 73 degrees probably that high today. Tomorrow, gorgeous as well. No rain to worry about. 64 for the high. Look at the weekend. Gorgeous. Just get out. We don't even really need to talk about the weather. Just beautiful for the next 5 days, 4 or 5 days. All right. Let's talk about something serious now. We're going to keep Jamie off the set. Jody, good to have you back with us.
Thank you.
You've brought Jessica with us, and Robert was back again this morning. Good to have him here. All right, we had you on talking before in the past. We're talking about the marijuana oil, which of course has a name to it.
CBD oil.
CBD oil. We're not talking about getting the kids high. We're not talking about things that are going to harm the children. It's about seizures. And last time Robert was in the studio, he had multiple seizures while he was here.
Yes.
He recently got on the study for the oil.
In June, yeah, around the end of May.
How has your life changed?
Well, Robert is now in middle school. Cognitively, we have had such an enormous boost that we thought he'd be in elementary school his entire life, that setting. And then all of a sudden he woke up. He was bored with the little kids, and we had to move him to middle school so he could engage with kids his own age. Seizure-wise, we haven't really had much of a change.
Okay.
Robert is still seizing anywhere between 2 and 150 times a day.
Are they as severe?
The intensity has lessened, but clusters have begun, which he can have up to 100 seizures within 4 hours.
Okay.
So we've had to start administering rescue meds, which is basically concentrated Valium.
Okay.
He rocks it, though. We don't have to go to the hospital. He takes his nap and wakes up a little while later and feels a little better.
As a mother watching your child go through this experience and experiment, is this a good thing for Robert? Does this need to continue in your case?
For Robert, what is shown for us to be a good thing is that marijuana does work. We just need more pieces of it. Right now, we're only using one component, which is CBD.
There is more help out there.
There is more help out there. It is just not here in this state.
Now, talking about this state and why it's so important that a bill be passed quickly is you're afraid you're going to have to move.
We're afraid we're going to have to leave because right now we're in a race for his life. Every seizure he has brings us closer to the one that might take him. And the more and more he seizes, the more and more we have to hold our breath and wait. And we can't anymore. When
you say move, what are options for you? What states can help you?
Right now, we are looking at either Colorado or Oregon. We want to be somewhere where they've been doing it for a while, and they have doctors that understand cases as extreme as Robert and have been working with medical marijuana for longer than just a couple of weeks.
You know, when we sit here and we talk about, we need a bill to be passed immediately, obviously, and hopefully they'll do something and find this how serious it is. You know, I always say if it was their child, they'd be right on it. But, you know, you guys have to fight for this. But there is hope out there because there are some states that do help.
Yes.
For you, anyway.
Yes. There's hope for anyone who can go there. It's not easy. I have a mother-in-law with Alzheimer's. I'm going to have to pick up and move her too. Change insurances. Everything that comes
Your whole
along,
life is going to change again.
Everything will have to change.
Right.
10 years ago, God brought us to Alabama after Hurricane Katrina. And this is where we need to be. Alabama's been amazing to us.
Yeah.
The services for Robert.
Bless you, Robert.
I've had 3 older children graduate and go on to college from here. I mean, Alabama has been amazing. But right now, Alabama's lawmakers are playing God with our children. And
it's just not right.
It's not right.
You're not talking about getting him high. This is a totally unrelated subject.
Here recently, because of having to make the changes, we've had to make him high with pharmaceutical meds.
Which are so much more dangerous.
Correct.
And
we have to stand
effects.
there and watch them breathe and make sure they're still breathing when we give them these medicines. And now this is a daily thing because we've had to start to decrease the oil and increase his meds so we can get him to a stable place. if we do have to move, which we are
Right.
thinking we are going to have to do.
Right, that's sad. Okay, not only one case, I mean, there's so many different multiple cases out there where this affects the children. Jessica, tell us a little bit about you and your daughter.
Sure. So my daughter Isla, she is 3.5 years old. At 7 months old, out of nowhere, we found ourselves in the ER, and she was diagnosed with something called infantile spasms, which is if you look in any medical book, it's catastrophic, devastating, it's awful. She had spasms, which are clusters of seizures, up to hundreds a day, for over a year. We tried super amounts of pharmaceuticals. She was on steroids, so she couldn't leave the house for a while because her immune system was lower. Just some really horrible stuff.
Is this your only child?
This is my first child.
First child.
Yeah, my second child, Henry, he's 1.5, and he doesn't have epilepsy. And Isla's epilepsy is cryptogenic, meaning they don't know why she has seizures, which is...
As a new mother going through that too, I mean, I can't even imagine just seeing your baby go through that. I mean, I just can't.
As a new mom, when I first saw her, just her arms would go up, I thought that she was just tired. By the second or third time, I knew something wasn't right. And so we went right to the ER, and she was diagnosed within 24 hours with infantile spasms.
Now, is she on any experimental drugs or the oil?
Yeah, so by the time she was 3, she was having up to 8 grand mal seizures every 24 hours. She was admitted into a study, and she was able to get CBD oil, just like Robert. And so where I met Jody, it was actually that first appointment. And it didn't get better right away. She actually got a little worse the first week, and so we thought, this isn't going to work. But after 2 months of adjusting her meds, the CBD oil adding on, she has been seizure-free for 115 days.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is amazing. It's
awesome.
That's never happened to her before. Her EEG, which measures the brain waves, is normal. But besides that, her cognitive ability has improved. She's in therapy because she's on the autism spectrum, and they keep data on everything.
Right.
And within just a few months, I mean, she's been so much more aware. I mean, we have like
you can
data.
see like a different child.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see it in her eyes, and I can see there's black and white data that says she has improved. So this oil it's more than medicine. I mean, it's given her smile, her laugh back.
The whole family.
The whole family. Yeah, we don't have to worry. When she falls asleep, 'cause that's when she would have her seizures. Oh, you have to watch Isla. You got to watch her. Got to watch her.
A lot of peace in the family now.
It's a lot more peace. But,
you are a military wife.
Yeah, and that's
How does this affect you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are stationed here in Alabama, and that's why we were able to be part of this study. Okay. But if my husband gets orders, which he will, we will be required to move, and that could be to a state that doesn't have medical marijuana. We've already made the decision that if that happens, then I would either stay with the kids here in Alabama if we can still get the oil, or we'll have to move to a state that we can get it, because we can't go back to the pharmaceuticals that weren't working for her.
If you live in Alabama and doctors won't see you unless you actually reside in that state. If you had to drive to a different state to see a doctor, could he have a doctor in Colorado and you live in Alabama?
No. We have to have I could have a doctor. I could probably go shady and do everything we needed to do. I could treat him illegally here if I needed to.
Right.
But then I have no one watching my child.
And then you get arrested for
or making
trying to
sure
save his life.
levels are okay. I'm not worried about me sitting in a jail cell.
Right.
What about my child? He can't be without me and his father.
And you can't be in jail because you're there to take care of him at home.
Exactly. And I mean, to be very honest with you, it makes me to hear Jessica's story makes me angry.
Yeah.
That our servicemen have to fight at home for what their families need to live.
Right.
Literally live.
And on Veterans Day, y'all,
unacceptable.
What can people do if they're at home watching, or watching online or wherever? What can people do to help you?
I mean, we can start with Alabama. We can start that Alabama could lead the South with this. They could change the legislation and say we are going to allow medical marijuana in all forms for those that need it. Medical marijuana for our kids with epilepsy does not make them high. The pharmaceuticals that we've talked about make them high.
And so many more side effects that are so dangerous.
And the side effects are, horrifying. You can write your legislators. You can use your vote to do the talking. We have a big election coming up. Think about the presidential candidates. What are their policies? Not only them, who's running for Congress. Let's think about the people that make the laws and try to, make a difference. The first thing that we can do is reschedule medical marijuana. Marijuana is known as a controlled substance, and it is in a Schedule I category, meaning that it has no health benefits and that it's highly addictive. And we know that that's just not true in the type of medical marijuana that we're talking about. If we can reschedule it, the FDA
can start doing what they need to do.
We can start studying it more.
People need to have an open mind, actually do the research, and understand what this drug can